Have you ever felt insulted or treated unfairly and weren't sure how to respond? Often, our first instinct is to react with anger or retaliation. But does that really solve the problem? In this guide, we'll explore 10 lessons from Stoicism that can help you respond to disrespect with strength and dignity. Each point is rooted in psychological and philosophical principles that have stood the test of time. Be sure to watch until the end. One of these lessons might just change the way you face the world. Number 1. Pause before reacting. The underrated power. When someone angers or offends you, the natural impulse is to strike back. But taking a brief pause before reacting is a power often underestimated. Stoicism teaches us the value of this pause. Taking a moment gives you time to assess whether your reaction will improve the situation or make it worse. Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology shows that waiting just 5 seconds before reacting in emotional situations can reduce the risk of conflict by up to 60%. This is because it allows the brain to shift from the fast-reacting emotional system to the more rational one. For example, if a colleague harshly criticizes your work, rather than instantly defending yourself, you could take a deep breath, observe your emotions, and decide if a combative reply would help. This tiny pause can have a major impact. Imagine a world where more people took just a few seconds before they spoke. How much more peaceful it could be. Number 2. Self-reflection. Looking inward to control your reaction. Self-reflection is at the heart of Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of examining our own actions. He believed every challenge is an invitation to look within, to identify what can be improved, and to strengthen what matters. Through reflection, you can choose not to react impulsively to insults, but instead develop a more composed perspective. Picture a moment during a meeting when a coworker criticizes your ideas sharply. Rather than being defensive, ask yourself, is this criticism valid? If so, what can I learn from it? This mindset reflects emotional maturity and often earns others' respect. Self-reflection isn't about assigning blame. It's about recognizing what you can control within yourself. That's the key to not letting others dictate your emotions or actions. Number 3. Empathy. Understanding the root of negative behavior. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, even if you don't agree with their actions. In Stoicism, it's a powerful tool for dealing with disrespect. When you encounter someone unpleasant, try to imagine that they might be struggling internally or experiencing pain you know nothing about. Instead of judging them, empathy can change how you respond. Maybe they're under pressure, carrying emotional wounds, or feeling insecure. Understanding this helps release unnecessary anger and allows you to approach the situation more calmly. For instance, if your boss speaks harshly, consider that they may be facing heavy pressure from upper management. Empathy doesn't mean excusing bad behavior, but it helps you avoid getting pulled into a spiral of unproductive anger. Empathy is one of the best ways to show you're unaffected by someone else's negativity, a core Stoic principle. Number 4. Virtue as a foundation. Act according to your values. For the Stoics, all actions and responses are rooted in one central principle, virtue. When someone is disrespectful, ask yourself, is the response I'm about to give honorable and in line with my values? Stoic virtue is grounded in 4 pillars: wisdom, courage, self-control, and justice. Wisdom helps you make the right decisions. Courage empowers you to stand by your principles. Self-control prevents you from acting on impulse. Justice guides you to treat others fairly, even if they don't do the same. Consider a leader who frequently faces criticism from envious individuals. If that leader responds with anger or resentment, It undermines virtue, but if they remain calm, maintain their integrity, and focus on greater good, they uphold their dignity. When you act according to virtue, you gain strength in difficult situations without guilt or regret. Number 5, accept what you cannot control. The key to emotional freedom. Our initial response to disrespect is often resistance. Why would they do this? It's not fair. But Stoicism teaches us to accept that other people's behavior is outside our control. When you accept that someone might act rudely because of ignorance, emotional pain, or their own struggles, you let go of unnecessary anger. For example, imagine dealing with a coworker who constantly makes negative comments. Instead of obsessing over why they behave that way or trying to change them, accept their nature and shift your focus to what you can control: your response, your stress management, and your self-protection. Acceptance is the gateway to emotional freedom. If you spend your energy trying to change people or situations beyond your control, you'll only feel frustrated. But if you focus on what's truly within your power, you become freer and no longer a prisoner of others' actions. Number 6, humor as a weapon. Diffuse conflict and stay in control. Responding to disrespect with anger usually escalates the conflict. But what if you use humor instead? In Stoicism, humor is seen as a clever tool to diffuse tension and show that someone else's words hold no power over you. By not taking small insults too seriously and responding with humor, you create emotional distance from the situation. It gives you greater control over how the conflict unfolds. Studies in psychological science show that humor in stressful situations can lower physiological stress responses. Humor is a powerful way to reduce the intensity of negative emotions. Of course, this doesn't mean mocking or being dismissive. Humor must be used with wisdom and sensitivity. While not always universal, in many situations, smart humor can diffuse tension, not only making you look composed, but proving that negative behavior has no hold over you. Humor is a form of mental strength. Number 7, set clear boundaries. Protect yourself and teach others. When someone behaves disrespectfully, it's important to know that empathy and acceptance have their limits. Stoicism teaches that setting boundaries is a form of self-respect and respect for others. Suppose a friend constantly criticizes your life choices in a personal way. You may have tried humor or empathy, but the behavior doesn't change. This is the time to draw a clear line. You might say, "I appreciate your opinion, but I'm not comfortable discussing this topic. Let's talk about something else." Epictetus once wrote, "We should treat all people kindly, but never allow ourselves to be treated poorly." A study in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that people who set healthy boundaries tend to have higher life satisfaction. Boundaries don't just protect you from unnecessary stress. They teach others how to respect you. Clear boundaries are a sign of independence and self-confidence. Number 8, ignore when necessary. Choose your battles. Sometimes, the best response to disrespect is no response at all. Ignoring inappropriate comments or actions is an expression of Stoic wisdom. It shows that you refuse to give power to negative behavior. This isn't about avoiding issues. It's about choosing your battles. Not every insult or criticism deserves your energy and time. If someone is clearly trying to provoke you with pointless words or actions, ignoring them preserves your inner peace. It proves that you are in control of your emotions, not them. This is emotional independence. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Focus on what matters to you and let go of what doesn't serve your growth. Number 9, forgiveness. Releasing the burden, not justifying behavior. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful and misunderstood lessons in Stoicism. Forgiving doesn't mean condoning bad behavior or forgetting what happened. It means releasing the anger and resentment that weigh you down. When you forgive, you do it for yourself, not for the other person. You free yourself from emotional chains that harm your mental and physical health. Marcus Aurelius encouraged forgiveness by recognizing that people often act badly out of ignorance, weakness, or external influence, not from a personal desire to harm. Research published in Frontiers in Psychology shows that forgiveness reduces stress and improves mental and physical health. By forgiving, you open the door to better relationships and give yourself the greatest gift: freedom from emotional burden. Number 10. Change your perspective. See challenges as opportunities. How we deal with disrespect largely depends on our perspective. Stoicism teaches that we have the power to change how we view any situation, and this is a key to true happiness. When someone is disrespectful, instead of seeing it as a personal attack, try to see it as an opportunity, a chance to practice patience, test your wisdom, or recognize that the person may be struggling. View them as someone who may be anxious, desperate to be heard, or simply unaware of respectful communication. This shift in perspective helps you avoid overreacting and deal with the situation calmly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." If you change your thoughts, you change your perspective. This teaches that real control lies within our minds, not in what the world throws at us. Research from Stanford University shows that people who reflect on situations from multiple angles tend to be more resilient to stress and conflict. This proves that only we can change how we respond. Changing your perspective doesn't mean justifying bad behavior, but it gives you the space to respond more wisely. In doing so, you can overcome insults without losing control over your emotions. In the end, the right perspective is the key to staying calm and confident, no matter who tries to bring you down. Each time we face disrespect, it's an opportunity to practice these principles and become a stronger, wiser version of ourselves. If you found these lessons valuable, feel free to share this video with your friends and subscribe so you won't miss upcoming insights. Let's keep becoming the best versions of ourselves.